former Minister for Power. You're welcome to Point Blank, sir.
Thank you.
First of all, I am believing that this is the first time we are seeing a sanction as serious as the one that the PURC has imposed on a utility service provider like ECG in the statement that we are seeing today. Or is there in the past sanctions where PURC will be on a collision course with a utility service provider, forcing it to impose sanctions like the one it has done today?
Well, in terms of the quantum of the sanction, I'm not aware of any sanction of that magnitude. But in terms of regular sanctions, yes, a regulator must impose sanctions for breaches of the law.
But how about the part that the regulator decided to go outside the body corporate and deal with the persons behind the company, i.e. the board members, and asking them to be surcharged or surcharging them for the cost that's incurred in the name of the company? What do you make of that?
For me, that is extremely refreshing. Extremely refreshing because I also rank the State Enterprises Committee of Parliament, and good governance has been noticed more by its absence in a number of our state-owned enterprises. Board members do not take responsibility for decisions of the entities that they superintend over. And so I am very excited about that. Again, it is important that whether Jubilee House or Flagstaff House, for the power centers to appreciate and understand that once you appoint a board, all decisions of government, etc., must go through the board. And board members must be able to defend sound commercial decisions. With this, I believe it's not going to be business as usual. And that is why I'm so excited about the decision to go beyond the veil. In commercial law, it is allowed. Indeed, the Companies Act 92, makes provision for that. You can attach directors for some offenses.
But is a PURC sanction coming a little too late, or you think that it is appropriate considering all the warnings that were given prior?
Well, it's better late than never. And for me, the import of the PURC release is the need for the public service and public service providers to be factual. I can understand the managing director of ECG wanting to put the best foot of the company forward, trying, as some would say, a bit too much to defend ECG in the light of challenges that they may not be in control. There was essentially a decision shortfall. There is no amount of coloring that can erase the fact that we have a generation shortfall. And therefore, it's the ability of ECG, who are the contractors to the IPP. There are two major generators in Ghana, VRA and IPPs. ECG is a major contractor, contracting party to the IPPs. And so ECG was aware that there was a generation shortfall, but they tried too hard to protect a certain image that was inconsistent with the actuality, inconsistent with what Ghanaians were feeling. And I believe that is where PURC has come in to say that, look, in terms of the transformer, very few of them were overloaded relatively. And of course, if you have 630 transformers as ECG put out being overloaded, assuming that was even factual, out of over 32,000, that could not have impacted on supply the way that we have experienced. So for me, the critical thing is, responsibility of board and board members for decisions of their organization. And two, they need to be factual and accurate to the Ghanaian people. Attempt at window dressing has led ECG to this.
Now that the sanctions have been imposed, does it mean we don't have to get our doomsday timetable, or we will still get that as well?
I believe it was imposed for breaches up to a particular point. Regulators constantly monitor, and therefore, depending on what the regulators see, they will still insist on a load management schedule. It is so important for regulatory bodies to be up and doing. If we have regulatory bodies doing their work effectively, the need for politicians, especially ministers, to intervene in matters that ought to be operational will not even arise. Ministers are responsible for policy. Let regulatory bodies do their work and control the operations as by law. However, I believe the ECG Board, if I were advising them, I would advise them appeal against the quantum of the sanction. PURC counted the number of breaches and imposed penalty points. PURC has the power to lower the number of penalty points. In any case, PURC's decision can be appealed both to the PURC itself or even through the courts. I want to see that development of the ECG Board appealing the decision, the quantum of the fine, the sanction, to the PURC Board.
Moving forward, we are yet to hear from the ECG. The minister himself has not spoken. What do you think should happen subsequent to this PURC directive?
Well, when a regulatory body issues a directive, it has to be complied with or appealed. I will advise that the minister stays out of this, and I don't think he intends getting involved. Let the regulatory bodies do their work.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
That's Dr. Kwabena Donkor, MP for Pro East and a former minister for